was able to, within just a few months, get chest to bar pull-ups, and I can now get maybe like 5 or 6 of those in a set, and it was incredible because I could just never get any higher before. It didn't matter how strong I got, I just couldn't get any higher. And then just with the feedback from yourself and some little tweaks and working on the way that I pulled instead of just trying to get stronger, it opened it up for me. I'd just completed an ultra marathon, so a lot of my training had been kind of geared towards that, and I just needed a bit of direction with what I was doing and a little bit of guidance in and motivation, I suppose, to work on something else without like a specific challenge.
How long had you been training for, and what style of training were you doing?
Yeah, most of my training history is CrossFit, and I started that probably in 2011, 2012, I think. That's really been pretty much the way that I've trained generally.
So what results have you noticed since joining the UMS?
Yeah, so 2 massive ones for me. So one was that previously, like even when I've been at my strongest, when I could do probably like, I don't know, 15, 16, like really solid pull-ups, like super strict, super slow, 15 or 16 pull-ups. I couldn't get a single chest to bar pull-up, and it was super frustrating. I remember there was one CrossFit Open where most of the workout, you just needed to do normal pull-ups. And then the last little bit, you had to get some chest to bars. And I flew through the first bit of the workout. And then I basically had 8 minutes of me flailing around trying to get a single chest to bar, and I couldn't manage it. But since joining the UMS, I was able to, within just a few months, get chest to bar pull-ups, and I can now get maybe like 5 or 6 of those in a set, and it was incredible because I could just never get any higher before. It didn't matter how strong I got, I just couldn't get any higher. And then just with the feedback from yourself and some little tweaks and working on the way that I pulled instead of just trying to get stronger, it opened it up for me. And then the other thing was my squat. So I have been on a mission to get a decent squat. I was told that my back squat looked more like a good morning, like I was just so locked up that it didn't even look like I was trying to squat. So I've been on and it has improved since then, but I've done every mobility program out there, and I've never felt like I could get into a decent squat. And then again, just a few months of this, and like absolutely chuffing my squat now. Like,
it's an ass to grass squat now.
It's an ass to grass, it's comfortable. I can get down there pretty much cold. Some days I need a little bit more warming up. But yeah, so I can squat, which I was just always so focused on, because I was like, it should be a human rest position, right? And I can't even get there. Like,
how good?
Yeah, they were the 2 massive ones for me. Just feeling that good squat and getting chest to bar.
Yeah. And how does that feel now when you train with your buddies at the gym and you can do those movements?
Yeah. Oh, it's so cool. I have people coming up to me sometimes saying like, oh, great squat, like getting an ass to grass there. And I'm like, oh, wow. And like people are saying, oh, you've got really good flexibility. And that's just, I still feel like it's not me in a lot of ways, because there's much more I want to do. Yeah. I just think of myself as the stiffest person ever. So for someone to come up to me randomly, it's like, wow.
What would you say to somebody who's considering joining and sitting on the fence?
Oh, it's absolutely incredible. Honestly, it's the level of feedback that you get is second to none. Like I say, like I've been training for a long time, and I've done it in a few different ways, and I've worked with a lot of coaches before. I've done a similar kind of like, well, I say similar, I've done like an online thing with like video feedback before as well. And this is just, it's so top tier, but yet for like a tiny fraction of the cost. It's incredible, the level of feedback that you get, and the fact that you can send it as often as you like and you'll always get a reply to it, and that feedback is not just like, oh yeah, great job. It has actually led me to pull in a different way, and therefore be able to engage my lats and get my chest to the bar and get into those decent squats. I just can't explain how much value you get here. It's ridiculous.